Well, let's get more now. We can cross to London and speak to Victoria Scholar, who is Head of Investment at Interactive Investors. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. The impact of a default by a company this big would be pretty far-reaching, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. This is not just about China's property sector at all. It has implications for its financial sector as well. That's why people are suggesting that this could be a so-called Lehman moment, like the collapse of the Wall Street giant we saw back in 2008. But it also goes beyond that. There are questions about the outlook for China's growth, because China's growth has been predicated on a huge amount of debt that has fueled a surge and boom in the property sector. Property actually accounts for about a third of GDP. So that gives you a sense of just how significant some of these property companies are, not just for China's growth, but for global growth, because as we know, China has been the fuel behind the fire for global growth in recent years as well.
So how likely do you think it is, therefore, the Chinese government will step in and help out?
Well, this is the big question. So far, we've seen intervention from the central bank, the People's Bank of China, injecting $14 billion worth of liquidity, essentially to try and avoid a credit squeeze of some sort and avoid some kind of issues within the financial sector. There's bigger questions about whether we're going to see intervention from Beijing, from the government itself. It's reluctant to really do a large-scale bailout, which is why there are these questions and comparisons to Lehman Brothers. Of course, this is an issue that is creating ripples not just within the financial sector and the property sector, but also has social implications as well, because so many Chinese people have put their life savings into houses that are not yet built by Evergrande. So this has a social implication as well. We've seen protests across China. So it may be that Beijing's hand is forced and it will have to ultimately bail out this company, but certainly there's a major reluctance from Xi Jinping to do so.
And I mean, just to help us understand, what went so badly wrong for Evergrande?
Well, a lot of asset managers have said that this actually has been a risk that they've known about for a long time. Essentially, it's been over-indebted. It's got debt to the tune of $300 billion, and this has been accumulating over some time. It's largely been turned a blind eye to until recent times, when China's government has decided that it wants to crack down on all of this debt. And this is where the problems have really started to come through for Evergrande.
OK, well, thank you very much indeed for helping us to make sense of what some are calling, as you indeed said, China's Lehman Brothers moment. Thank you so much. Victoria Scholar, Head of Investment at Interactive Investors in London. Thank you.
Thank you.
Experts say that